this is two. This is the
So
storm.
we open it up and appoint him as a member, or what?
You're supposed to actually not have more than two on there of the same party. So I would probably try to get a Democrat.
Or an independent.
Or an independent, right.
Or
a
a person who's a.
You just became an independent.
You could be, yeah.
I could be an independent for 10 minutes.
Well, right now, we're okay, because we just have two members.
But to appoint somebody, I think they should try.
Well, but the appointment is done by the
Council.
The council. I do have it on, whenever you guys do the council president in January, Jay and I talked yesterday, and it's just automatically gonna be on there every January where you're gonna have to appoint somebody. Whether that's reappoint the person that.
Well, no, not every, you have a 3-year term.
But after those three, remember they have to be staggered? It's
Yes.
gonna start being every January to do one of them.
One of them, yes.
Yeah, so, but we'll cross that in January. Do you think 2 is enough to get them through until January where that can start?
Yeah, no, that is,
Okay,
Are you the chairman?
so I guess you guys.
Really, I thought you came on when Doug left.
No, I am not on the board, but I am required to attend the meetings.
Okay.
Yeah.
and in a way that it seems appropriate for the person who's carrying it out not to also be on the board.
Can we bring up concerns as far as the stormwater issue goes right now?
It's up to the committee. You want to hear if he's got something to say.
You've been here longer than me.
Let's iron this out first, then.
Okay, sorry.
This is kind of a first forum, so.
And you took Patty's place then?
No, I took, the council member I overlooked.
She wasn't on the,
Was it
she
Valerie?
you-
Valerie.
she wasn't on the.
For the stormwater board, Brent took Patty's place.
Oh.
Okay.
Nobody took
Doug's place.
Doug's place.
Okay.
So we haven't had but 2 members of the stormwater board for a while. I'm not a board member, but I am required to attend the meetings. And if there's a third person involved, then that has to be recommended by the town council president. So you are as far as there's, 2 out of the 3 members, you have a quorum, so you can open up the meeting and go from there.
Well, we had regular meetings forever, and literally nobody'd show up. I got where I just sat out there in the truck and watched the door, and, but we never had any real issues.
Yeah.
And there was no need for people to come and complain if there weren't any issues. Joyce would say something out in public once in a while, but she never wants to come to a meeting.
Is the meeting formally open so I can?
Go right ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna start it officially, right?
Yes.
You guys ready?
The
Okay.
meeting's going.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it opened at 5:35 because that's about what time I think.
Does anybody have any idea who to get as a Democrat or independent? This is just like being on the board. Nobody wants it. It's a thankless job.
I think you have till January for that. I would probably get through this meeting first, right?
Yeah, we don't have, this board can't make that appointment.
Mhm.
It has to be that should come up at the next town council meeting.
Yeah,
It's
because
gonna be on your January agenda.
Maybe you put out, and does anybody,
You could contact the Democratic Party in the county and ask if anybody locally wants to be on the board. So.
Well, under ordinance number 7-11-1, the stormwater board is to be appointed by the town council president.
7-11-1?
That's the
That's
ordinance when
it
they
was-
created.
That's when it was created.
I didn't see that in there.
It's
I've got it.
an ordinance to establish a Department of Stormwater Management for the town of Kirkland, ordinance number 7-11-1.
Jay, do you want mine?
I've got it here.
Paragraph 3, the Department of Stormwater Management shall be controlled by a board of directors, which shall consist of 3 directors appointed by the town council president of the town of Kirkland. No more than 2 may be in the same political party.
I got it.
Town council president may remove a director at any time in the judgment of the town council president. It is in the best interest of the department. If a director is so moved, the town council president shall appoint a replacement to fill the unexpired term of the removed director. So, the stormwater board is under
Yeah,
the
okay, so,
town council president.
Mitt, it's your job now. Find the third person.
You know,
Between now and
if you want me to
January.
put something out there to see if we can find anybody in town, I put it on Facebook if you want me to, and then have them contact Joe. Sure, it's fine.
And when the board was initially started, had 3 members. The first one would serve 1 year, the second would serve 2 years, the third would serve 3 years. And at the end of each respective cycle, they would be either reappointed, removed, or whatever, but they would end up being on the board in a 3-year cycle.
Well, what we have for consideration today is a resolution to increase the stormwater management fee. So that's what this meeting
Well,
is about.
before we, go any further, I think we should let somebody from the public speak.
So I just want to start off by saying, I acknowledge that no one on this board, knows of all the survey issues and issues with the storm drainage that has been ongoing for a long time. So my name's Clinton Poole. My parents lived out in the brown house right outside of town here and on the curve, and I've grown up here all my life. Well, part of that is, my brother and my dad are the ones that did the survey on the stormwater system through town. With that, the stormwater is within the county. So even if we raise the rates, we cannot use that money unless we're gonna pay the county to come in and fix their tile that runs all the way across town and goes all the way out to our brown house through the pasture and goes out to the creek behind that house. Now, there's multiple times where in the pasture and in that woods out there, that tile collapsed. And if you drive out there right now, you can see 2 big cottonwood trees out there in the middle of the pasture. That's where it was originally fixed the first time. So there's no telling where even if it's good anymore. So I think that goes back on the county, one. We also know that the Board of Health from Clinton County has let every new house and every house that's been built here in the past 30, 40 years tie in all their, overflow drainage systems into those tiles. Somewhere between that side of town and where it exits this side of town, right through there, it's only 10 inches. So it can't handle the volume anyways of the water flow from all of those houses. From that point, somewhere out in the fields out here, it goes to a big 24-inch tile. But nobody knows, nobody at the county knows where that's at. And really, I think it needs to go back to the county.
We have more issues than just that, but I agree. Totally agree, but, has anybody contacted you? Has Dan Sheets contacted you and
Not a
told him
word.
what he has found or anything?
Not a word.
Knowing that we have problems and he hasn't, and didn't you reach out to him?
I have.
Did he get back with you?
They ain't going to.
Well, I have multiple times been over there. Who's his assistant, a young guy, he's worked with me and showed me on the map on the screen there. No, see that, these are marked county, none of them is ours. Who they belong to?
Can we invite
So,
one or
Well,
both of them?
the
to the
county
council
has,
meeting?
the county has come in and accepted responsibility for the drain tiles from Sunshine Manor, let's see, Capstone, Sunshine Manor, crossing, property over to 38, all of it. That's all been claimed by the county. Now, the only way that I got anything done this time around with the county was going through Jordan Brewer. May have to do that again.
and if that's somewhere we need to be at those county meetings to get somebody's attention at the county, then that's what we need to do.
Yes.
I don't think, in my honest opinion, I don't think raising the rates of the stormwater fee are gonna do any good. I understand there's probably some other issues in town, you know, but if we all pay $5 a month, is it $5, $10 a month?
It's
$5 a month.
Since 2011.
So, you know, that should be for every homeowner to pay $5 a month. You know, like me and Dan, we live over behind that Sunshine Manor, and we don't have stormwater. There's none back there. But we pay our bill and we go about our day, and it is what it is.
And when it rains,
But with,
when it rains, it floods. We've approximately got 10 acres of property back there. That's including your property. The old church that sits over there, and if you go over there and look, the asphalt runs, guess which way? Our direction. All of that water comes, everything comes down to us. And there's no place for it to go.
Well, it's actually supposed to start draining at the end of Adams Avenue,
It does.
coming toward town, into the county drain.
But we've got over 10 acres there, and we got a 50-foot ditch. And you've already told me that there's only an 8-inch pipe in that ditch,
Or smaller.
or smaller. So,
but regardless
how
of
can
all
you
that,
drain that much water? You can't.
You can't, there are areas in town that need to be upsized,
but
and replaced because over years they've either gotten too small for what they need to do, or they've collapsed, or they've just,
Let me
Been
interrupt
clogged
and say
up.
that we did not get the stormwater planning grant from ODRA. You guys can apply again if you'd like.
So that's my
But
issue.
we were not funded.
That's my issue in this meeting, that we need to go down that route before we even raise rates. Also, number two is the fact that everybody's rates in town have been going up, like all of a sudden, and a lot of people can't handle that. We only get paid, or we only get pay raises once a year, and if you just constantly raise rates, you're gonna send everybody out of town to find somewhere cheaper, and then all the people from Hamilton County is gonna come in here looking for cheaper places to stay, and then we lose our identity as a small town. And so at this point, I don't feel like that we should be raising rates.
well,
Can I-
before anything comes up, 421 is on NDOT's project list to be redone from city limits to city limits. We've got all kinds of storm drains underneath that highway that are gonna have to be replaced now or within the next 5 years. We don't have the money to cover that, and won't have the money to cover that. The amount that we get per year won't even do a sizable or even a noticeable project in the highway.
but those two main drain tiles that run under 421
Are ours.
are the county.
No, they are ours.
Yeah, because it's 421. And through town, they have a stormwater system through 421, down 421.
Every storm drain line on 421 belongs to us.
That's right. But on Adams Ave or anything east or west of 421, you don't have, because there's nothing there.
Yeah. And
So
there
my
are-
problem is, it's not the $5. The $5 is not gonna break or make me. $10 is not gonna break or make me. But you guys are not giving me a service that I'm paying for. That's where I have the problem. You wanna charge me 20? Fine. Fix that friggin' problem over there.
But that can't
I don't
be
have a
fixed.
problem with that, but I'll pay the county, but you're charging me for services not rendered.
Well, we can fix ours based upon finances available. It may take, a while, but we can get, based on finances, we can take care of our stuff.
Billy,
Not all
Our
at once.
problem is getting the county to take care of their stuff.
that's,
Because we can put
that's
in-
the
we
problem,
can put
because
in-
the county services over there at Sunshine Manor, you do not. And soon as you ran into a problem, you ran off to the county to talk to the county, but the county's not gonna do nothing.
No.
Whenever they get around to it, they'll get around to it. If they do, they don't. My problem is that I'm paying for a services that's not rendered by the city.
So you're saying that it stops prior to your guys' property, so it'd have to be
You
extended?
guys don't understand. The only storage sewer that Kirkland has is out here on 421. That's it. That's all they have. You drive down any one of these side streets, east, west, north, south, there's no storm sewer that the city is involved with. You guys are really charging 90% of the people in this city for a service that's not being rendered by the city.
What's all the grates in the alleys and stuff? That's stormwater, isn't it?
Yeah, we have storm drains throughout town.
Right.
Well, I think the main problem here is, right, it's like taking a funnel. If we have a 10-inch drain over there, we could have a 20-inch drain over there, it doesn't matter. But if it all goes to that county tile at the end of that apartment complex, that's a 10-inch tile, and we're trying to fill it with a 20-inch tube, that's why that apartment complex floods when we get heavy rains. It's why we get all the standing water back there. If the county came in and were to put in a larger tile, that would alleviate this issue. Maybe even scope it from Kirkland, from that side of town, all the way out to where it goes out to the old, our old house out there.
How far did they
So
scope?
how do we get the county to do that?
How far did
Good
the county?
luck.
Yeah, how far
Can
did?
we-
Luck.
Can we get a
Can we
letter from
invite
Jay?
them to, one of our town council meetings and?
Well,
have them
no, I
have a
think you're
discussion?
better off to go to one of the commissioners meet as the drainage board.
Okay.
So the 3 commissioners, and Dan will be there too. And you go in and you say, here's the problems we have. And the problems are that the water, once it gets to the county tile, is not going away because it's either broken or too small.
At Sunshine Manor, that retention pond did not used to hold water as long as it does now. When it rains a lot, it sits in there for.
And that's where I'm coming to you guys to say, it's not your guys' problem, okay? I don't want anybody to take that the wrong way. There's 2 giant cottonwood trees that are growing right into those, storm drains.
Where's it located?
So there's
at,
probably, what is that? 550?
750.
750?
Elizabeth?
Yeah, yeah. If you take that out and then, there's like a little tight S curve.
Where the guy has the
There's a
lights.
brown house on this side.
Is it
on
where
the
our
gravel
friend
road.
lives?
Yeah, that's where, yeah.
Brian
Yeah.
lives? Brian, yeah.
Yeah, he works at Carmel. It's right out there in the pasture, and there's 2 cottonwood trees that run right through there. When they came out and fixed it, and I guarantee those tree roots are growing in it, and it probably needs to just be bored out again. But we have no clue whether through Brock's old field out here, it could be, collapsed in there, could have nowhere to go.
Absolutely.
So that's where,
They did
I think
some
we
work,
should
though.
go as board members and all of us as a community, go to the Clinton County Commission meeting and talk to them about it. Because on the other hand, Clinton County, yes, they have all this stuff going on at 65, but if they don't pay attention, Kirkland is the next town to start growing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I agree.
I
You got
agree.
Sheridan blowing up with home builders, you
Yeah.
got Lebanon going on, Kirkland's right there,
We're
and we're right in the midst of
perfectly
it.
You got
Well, that's-
You-
that's-
you-
that's
Especially
not
with
the
what's
only-
going on in Boone County. too.
Absolutely.
That's not the only issue of stormwater that the town has. I've got pictures of multiple residents in town
Mhm.
where they're standing in, a foot of water or whatever. Even West Monroe, where I live, there's 2 storm drains that drain over to 38. it floods when we get a huge amount of rain.
Yeah.
That might have to do with
In
the
fact, I
pipes being
had,
backed up though.
it rained so much, the last time I had water halfway up my driveway, and my driveway's got a 2% slope going up to the house. So out there in the road, there was probably 2-3 feet of water.
Right, but it can only drain so much.
And then over here on, where did Catherine King live? What street?
Clay Street and
Clay
Ohio.
and Ohio is another area that floods heavily. In fact, water gets in that guy's garage. And there are other places around town. So, I mean, there's things that we need to do.
Well, and I'm not saying
And
that.
we can all, and another thing too, we can also start taking care of our own and not relying on others and just have we need, 421 is gonna be a major headache for us soon. And I've got some, areas now on 421 that need to be replaced. NDOT, held our permit the last time because, some, issues on 421 where, and I've got 2 now that are collapsed, where the state keeps patching them. They need to be replaced. We don't have the money to cover that because it's gonna take a sizable company to come in with traffic control, NDOT, and do all their permitting and all that. And we don't have enough money in the budget to even cover that. So, I mean, there are other issues other than what we have to deal with on the county.
To give an idea, at $5 for a small town that we have, if everybody were to pay every month, which they don't, we would take in approximately $22,000 over the entire year. That's not enough to do one project. So you guys can take out bonds to fix it. I would hate to see
Back
you
to
do
what
that.
you was talking about. Every time I went over there and pointed out where there are sinkholes this big around and that deep, that's not our tile. The state says it's not their tile, the county does. Kirklin says it's not theirs. Right out here on 38, it comes all the way up to 750, comes under the road and into town. It belongs to somebody.
Yeah.
But out there, and it's not much farther from me to you, from the edge of the road, it's down in the low part. I've told them, at least make it safe. Well, it's not our problem. It's not the state highway.
How many stormwater outlets does this town have, Billy? Cause I know we crest here, so something has to go.
Well, you've got some that go north and south on 421. You've got maybe some that go, we've got one on the right-hand side of 38 that goes out to that creek.
It's not far from the bridge. You can go out there and you can see it, it's open and running.
And
But is it halfway plugged?
we may have, and we rely on the county. We tie into the county on some of theirs, and some of it goes east, some of it goes southeast, out past Burl Tharp's property.
But where our problem is over here in the southeastern corner, is that the one that that's the one that
That's
runs
the
all way
one that
across?
apparently snakes through town.
And that would be the one in front of, by Mel's too, they all tap in.
They also have a drain that goes
Yeah,
straight through
should
the
be.
parking lot of the apartments. You can see that one on Beacon, goes straight through their parking lot.
Right, and then there's another one right beside it, basically, just up there.
Didn't
It
your
goes
family
out.
recently go out there and dig and something was too deep to do?
So they were going out there, Sheets had called him to go out there and scope them, and take a camera and scope them. So they ended up getting to the bottom of them and scoped 40 feet each way and sent the pictures in. After
Okay.
that, that was their job.
Right.
They sent the pictures in, they could get 40 feet each way, and that was kind of the scope of work. But outside of that, they don't know.
And I talked to Mel the other day, cause I'm over at the church putting in a water line, and the one across the street from him, that, they got the okay to tie into it, but the elbow's so tight right at the bottom of it. Now, I know when it rains, it takes the water. It does not hold water in that ditch on the biggest rain. I went over there and it was flowing. It's about 6 foot deep on the other side of the road, and then it goes down to about 8 foot deep and continues to do the, the 1/4 inch grade drop down into, through, Miller's property there, and, as far as and he says out in the field past the houses is a big blockage. So he must have heard something, I think, because he says that's where the problem is.
Well, I'm pretty
out
sure
past the
Dan
house.
knows of some issues, it's just getting into.
Right,
I
why
mean,
haven't we been
and then-
notified, or has
Right.
anybody here been contacted about that? You know,
Right.
it really affects our town, so why isn't anybody communicating with you guys or Billy?
And in the defense of Billy and everybody, when we had that giant sinkhole out in our pasture where we had cows and everything, it took over 2 years to get him out there to do anything with that sinkhole. They finally did, and now you see this black giant riser pipe that nobody ever cut off, but they never fixed the problem. They took a clay tile and stuck a plastic tube in between it, but that's not gonna fix anything.
Well, Bill, it's probably been 2 years, this sinkhole out in the field right at the town limit sign, it's probably been 2 years, hasn't it?
Yeah, at least, because I remember you brought that up, at least 2 years ago.
Drove my buggy by it, right up next to it a while ago, and you can see on down in there, it's of course, there's more bean stubble and everything else down in it. and
You guys, I'm
debris.
gonna have to
Okay.
give you guys like I don't know if you guys wanna talk that time limit, but it's 6:05 and we're
But I
late
mean,
for our
we-
6 o'clock meeting, so I'm just. so you
We
guys are
have
wrapping up.
issues of our own that we need to take care of, and right now, we don't have the finances to do any substantial or even noticeable work throughout town. So I mean,
I say we apply for a grant, and if we don't get it, then we address the issue of raising the rates then.
I'll go along with that,
Okay, well, I make that, that's my motion, so,
I'll second.
aye.
Okay, so motion to reapply. If not, then you'll revisit the rates.
Right.
Okay,
When's the next,
Commissioners?
no,
application,
yeah, application date?
I'm thinking it would be January. Wasn't this one due in July?
So probably January.
I think we'd have to
Check with
ask Amy, and then, I've also found out, I don't know if you, and does any of you know Stephen Ray?
I do.
Okay, I'm gonna invite him or Tim that,
Tim
also
Carson.
works with him, because they actually help people apply for things like that for very little cost.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna invite one of them to come to a meeting to talk to you guys and just tell you guys what, because you probably know that they can help with the CCNG grants. But I don't know if you know everything they can help with. It's kind of like RCAP. They're paid by TIF money. I think that's how they're funded, but they can offer you guys things that I think in the past you guys have just paid for. And maybe you don't have to. So maybe that's a way, I'm always looking for ways to save money like that, so
Okay.
that, I'm gonna invite them to talk to you guys at some meeting, if that's okay.
Be good.
So are we gonna close this meeting then? Are you guys done?
Just one second. As far as the other board members, I don't know, but I'm willing to go to a commissioners meeting. I'm willing to talk to you if it's legal, about, and your knowledge and stuff before we go there and get a plan together, and if we can get other people to go.
Yeah.
I'm all game for that, and if any of the other board members, but I'm willing to go support us. I'm willing to go there to support us. Okay?
Absolutely.
All right, we're gonna close this meeting and we're gonna open up our second meeting for our special town council meeting.